Hello, hello, and welcome twitch.tv/speedgaming. Good to see you all. We've got an exciting elimination race between UrzaMTG and Duckie2010 for Timespinner Randomizer. I'm your host, Wef Jebster, and I'm joined here in the booth by Saracen. How's it going, Saracen?
It's going all right. Happy Friday. Happy Timespinner Racing Day. This is going to be a fabulous race.
Yeah, it should be really, really good. Like I said, it is an elimination race. It's between a couple friends of mine. And I really can't wait to see how this plays out. I know I'm going to be a little bit heartbroken either way, but that's why we're trying to do a little bit more of these events over the course of the year. So, should be fun. I hope you are all ready to enjoy this race with us. We are going to be started in just a little moment. We had a slight delay because of technical difficulties, but we will get our runners out of the gate as soon as we can.
Leftmost Cat, yes, indeed. They gave a booth. Isn't it amazing? And it's the Prime booth. Prime Real Estate. So as we're getting ready here, this tournament has been exciting all around, and we still have plenty of games left in it. So definitely keep an eye out. The announcements go up in the Discord as the races are being restreamed. But beyond that, keep an eye on the bracket, keep an eye on the comms sign up. That's how I keep track of where all the games are.
All right, so we are dropping the gate here. And so you will see after the obvious delays that our runners will be ready to roll. And again, very exciting elimination round race. And we are kind of getting deep into this tournament now. There's only a few races left. In fact, our upper bracket has determined its finalist already. So it is Tonberry James, and James will be going up against whoever wins the bottom bracket here, which again, we do have a few races still to decide that, because this has been a double elimination, and so a couple races still to be decided. A lot of heavy hitters are still here in this bottom bracket, including Urza and Duckie. Urza being the second place finisher in last year's tournament, and Duckie did not participate in last year's tournament, but is a speedrunner of the game. She's very fast. The movement skills are just on par with the best you're going to see in this randomizer. So really looking forward to seeing how that plays out, seeing what we're going to get in terms of logic and in terms of movement tech that we see.
Iron Orb minus to start. That is unfortunate. Slow and low.
Yeah, slow and low, and you don't want slow and low in Timespinner Randomizer. You want that in your pulled pork.
With a Colossal Blade minus to follow. I mean,
Colossal Blade minus. All right, so first thing for sure is going to be our runners trying to find even a neutral orb. Something that's neither buffed nor nerfed would be nice. And then failing that, like maybe like an Eternal Coat, maybe an Empire Crown, something to boost their damage. We do have a quick check. It does not look as if the basement loop is flooded, so Duckie kind of calling a shot right there. Didn't check Lake Serene. Probably wasn't planning on going over there anyway. We don't have fire and we don't have vertical, but we do have a little bit of information that ice is minus and blood is plus, thanks to those rings.
Yeah, and early Kobo is already scaring me slightly. Radiant minus as well. Oops, all minus practically. Blood is a good orb that easily betrays you, so I worry about it.
Oh my gosh, our runners are trying to kill this butterfly, and it just won't die.
Some days it be like that.
Just 2 gigantic swords and 8 hammers will do it. Now, that is a big find. That warp shard in that chest. We'll see if both our runners remember that they have that. It's not often you get warp shards early in these seeds, so you can use that to your advantage. If you find yourself far away from a warp, you can just warp shard back. And That's really nice, because otherwise you can't really find those warp shards until you find your way to a shop and buy them, which would require either present access or some sort of verticality in order to get up to the Merchant Crow in Ilana's Tower.
And worth noting that the runners have unlocked the ability to use those warp shards, because you don't get to do that until you've taken a warp. And I have frequently forgotten that in the seeds, so it's nice to already be past that. We finally shattered Minus as well.
Oh gosh, this is torture. But it is the benefit of going left and going all the way to that portal on the left and then warping back to the refugee camp. It ensures that you have used a warp and are able to use those warp shards. As we see a flooded moat, so we're going to have to wait a little bit to see what's down there.
With Lake Serene not being flooded, that allows access to left side, which sometimes the game decides to play jokes and throw, your early vertical over there or something like
your damage.
Right.
Like, honestly, at this point, with the way that the meta's sort of working out in this flag set, you skip boss fights because of the Prism Break flag that we are using in this year's tournament. We don't need to kill those bosses that are in the past in order to open up the way to the military hangar and into the lab. So you need to find those in treasure chests as collectible items. We did see a captain's uniform, which is at least some defense. Doesn't really help their offense, but we also did see a Timespinner spindle, which is 1/2 of their present access. If they find the wheel, they will also be able to make it into the present.
Yeah, and that is concerning. Gun or minus. What did you roll, Web?
Why'd you have to out me like that? They didn't know that I rolled it until you said something.
The movement from both of these runners is indeed top tier. We've seen just a little bit of jockeying back and forth with enemy cycles and that sort of thing. Urza taking a quick stop to refill the health bar because Urza was a bit low.
Yeah, Duckie used the Lakiyami Sun, which is a great healing item that you start every seed with, and that way avoided having to go back and touch that save. And I will also pay a little bit of respect to Duckie. She also did the map check, which put her behind like 1.5 seconds, and she has clearly recovered all of that time. So that's big props there. The movement is crazy. There's the Eternal Coat. That's something that they are going to be looking for. It's finally damage. I also want to point out that,
and defense.
Yeah, both. It's the best defense and offense body armor in the game. So that's a big deal when some of our... Oh my gosh, and a Shadow Seal. I know Duckie doesn't really like Shadow Seal, but if Urza switches over to it, we're going to see a potential huge difference in the damage that they're doing. So we'll see what goes on here. We have a dip over into the tower, and it looks like Urza's following suit. This is not necessarily a requirement, but since they do have that warp shard, there's pretty low risk in doing this. Urza actually taking a second to kill a couple of these enemies, get a couple levels. It's worth noting, since we start in the past, you are under-leveled for the area that you start in. Ooh, an Oculus Ring!
Oculus Ring is a big find, and that's going to open up a couple of checks, even one just in the basement here.
Yeah, that's actually a great find early in the seed. We are using the I Spy flag, so that means every hidden wall can potentially have something behind it that is required, but you need the Oculus Ring in order to break those walls open. You don't have to have it equipped, you just need to have it. As we see a laser access folder up there on the chicken ledge, so that's another thing that they've got to keep in mind. Urza opting to get the succubus hairpin in the hidden wall behind Castle Loop. Just as I said that, oh, Duckie is going to really need to find some other way to get up.
The succubus hairpin is going to allow access to the Merchant Crow, which will allow Urza to pick up more of those warp shards as well.
That's exactly what he's going and doing. He's probably going to check the rest of these twins area things. I would be surprised with the complete lack of damage if he actually went and even checked to see what boss was at the twins. But you're going to see some stuff that Ducky's passing up here that Urza will have access to due to having that double jump.
I like that even with some damage in and the Shadow Seal, that Shattered Orb Minus is still doing 1 damage a hit.
Yeah, you'll get there eventually. That is kind of a reason that Urza was like, all right, well, while I've got some enemies that are weak to blunt, I'm gonna kill some of them just to get that extra little experience and maybe boost up my damage via leveling up, like the classic RPG style.
Ducky heading over to
out Lake Green. Sorry,
yeah, picking up the items in our lower area, but I guess you're going to be able to get the Oculus check here and the lower chest of this room.
Yeah,
but you're still missing out on the double jump one.
Yeah, and the other thing is Ducky did see that laser access. Doesn't really know that vertical is available. Doesn't know when she's going to be back in this area to go get it. So by going over this way, it actually opens up getting that laser access on the other side of these vines.
Yeah, unfortunately, also going to have to come back at some point for fire, potentially, and burn those vines.
Yeah, and that's exactly why Ducky is not going back over to Azure Queen. She's looped back, and I think she kind of realizes that there's like a couple places that this could be. Obviously, she's not going to go all the way back to the castle loop. She's going to a place that is a little more unchecked and also can bite runners quite frequently. A water maskless upper maw caves is the check here. Yeah, Ducky's really going to need to find some other means of vertical, or else this is a gigantic advantage for Urza.
Yeah, this can be very tricky in terms of catching up from that deficit when you don't have the vertical and missing out on a couple of the checks. Urza also coming in this direction and going to be able to pick up the ledge here.
Yeah.
It's another 2 checks. Just getting some health restoration, but still useful.
Yeah.
We don't know when we're going to have to fight a terrible boss.
Yeah. Now Urza is just grabbing the portal, heading over to Lake Serene, setting up that portal so when he's done with the maw caves that he knows that he can access, he doesn't have to do too much backtracking. He will just warp shard to that portal if he finds the water mask, snag the water hook chest, and then that'll be that. Now Ducky is finding nothing in upper caves and is probably... She started scrolling the map that way, so it looks like she is going to head that way. So Urza, no fire on his side either, so... he will be able to get 1 chest right here that Ducky was not able to get. We'll see what it is. Just a max health up. So far, Ducky hasn't really been punished all of that much. This movement from this portal to this check is the exact movement that Urza already did. So since Urza hasn't really found anything behind any of these vertical checks yet, then they're kind of in the same position right now. The main thing is that Urza already has these warp shards and will be able to get the Maw teleport on his first dip into Lake Serene.
Yeah, the main concerns that I would have here are orphaned checks, which are always a concern, but since nothing has panned out so far, it doesn't particularly matter.
Yeah, and that is the key thing, is since they are orphan checks, there are locations that are way more dense. And
that's a
Galaxy Earrings. Galaxy Earrings is the first kind of good thing that Urza has found that Ducky is going to have skipped. So that's a big deal there. And yeah, the main thing here is Ducky is going to have to backtrack all the way to the left in Lake Serene in order to get that Maw Cave teleport, whereas Urza just is going to have it right away here.
Farewell, Danger Doggo. You wouldn't hurt quite as much with this Eternal Coat on. However, we don't want
it still hurts a lot.
I think unarmored, they do like 80 damage per bark.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. You're almost better off, if you want to damage boost, wait till the bark has happened, and then damage boost with the touch damage, because it does less damage on touch than it does with the bark. So we see Ducky going up into Alana's tower without time stop. So again, this is going to be more orphaned checks unless we get a Light Wall or Celestial Sash find here in Alana's tower. Urza's going to go fight the Azure Queen. We have not even seen the tablet here. Okay. So that's a find once they get present access, but they don't have it yet.
Not fighting. We're going down into the Maw Caves.
Oh, just picking up. Yeah, I guess that's a... Urza was burned earlier in this very tournament by forcing himself to fight that Azure Queen spot specifically. Essentially lost a race because he did it. So not surprising to see him make that call, but he did get that tablet just by checking, so that's good for him. Also, when he does finally fight the Azure Queen, he'll be able to burn those vines. Hopefully for him, he'll be able to burn those vines directly in stride. But we have an Alana's Tower play for Ducky and a Maw Caves play for Urza. Ducky opting to stay over where she found that Succubus hairpin. Urza checking the lake and obviously saying, you know what, I can full clear this place, let's just do it.
I think that the tower play makes a lot of sense for Ducky in the sense that there was a lot more checks available. The density versus backtracking to an area you've already done, picking up only a couple things. The main thing that she'd be able to grab is the warp to Maw. Whereas here you actually have some stuff to do, and you decide whether you're going to fight the Alana location boss.
Yeah,
I think you kind of have to if you're committing this hard.
You can't really say enough about the potential for finding more damage before coming down into Maw Caves. Like, even, look at this, just a Royal Guard is just giving our runners fits. Just to be able to try and kill that stupid thing is just... It's just impossible. They have no damage. Alright, well, we have the Nightmare at Alana. This is not a difficult boss, but it might be a little bit time-consuming. There are 2 checks directly behind this boss fight, so skipping it, especially when you're kind of short on vertical, I like this play to fight it now, because you don't know if you're going to get that sash. If you had sash, I would say, you know what, it doesn't take that long to climb Alana's tower.
And a laser and pink, all in the jackpot room.
That's 2 laser gates and no present access and a gear. So Pink does show up there. That opens up a couple checks behind Ilana's bedroom. So we will see how this goes. This is not a whole lot. Was that Aura Blast?
It might have been, and if it was, I don't understand why Urza would skip it, because it could have been neutral.
Yeah, we haven't seen Blue Orb yet. So we will see, and yeah, it looks like Ducky's switched to Radiant Orb, like, I have a weakness, and then saw how much damage it was doing, and was like, oh, that actually isn't super worth it.
Yeah, you sure do have a weakness. That weakness is, unfortunately, the Radiant Orb.
Yeah, it's a little slow. Ducky does auto fire instead of the jewelry box. Urza finding a D card down here, too.
D card, very good. The Veletian Crown also very helpful because of the aura regen.
For sure. And not to mention the damage boost, just the raw damage boost you get out of it. So,
well, Urza already had lab glasses from the Merchant Crow, so it ended up being a damage wash.
I didn't see that. All right, so Urza not opting to fight the Maw. I think that's the smart play.
There's no reason to fight the Maw yet because we don't have fire. That's the only benefit would be if you had fire. I do like this play of using the Warp Shard to bypass the elevator everything. Sure, you can jump off it midair sometimes. However, you still have to climb up. This way, you just zoom on past.
All right, Ducky finishes that Nightmare fight, gets the other laser access.
Still I feel like we're going to find a wheel or something just to get us to the present.
Yeah, this is a very awkward seed so far.
Or the water
there's the water mask at the elevator. All right, so we now know officially that Maw Caves was the play. Honestly, with that early Kobo, I might be a little bit happy that we haven't had present access yet, because that would mean that Kobo is possible to do. We've already seen Nightmare at Kobo or something. I don't remember what boss was there specifically, but we've already seen a required Kobo check, and it was ugly. So
I mean, Ravenlord Kobo is the nightmare.
Yeah. It was Ravenlord, not Nightmare. I always...
It was Ravenlord. All right, cool. I remember these things. It's like the worst of all possible worlds is finding Ravenlord there early in the seed.
Worst possible case scenario.
Something I said earlier in the tournament is that one of the things that's complicated the logic and put hard boss fights early is the quick seed setting.
Yep.
Having your Teleria, which makes Kobo in logic as soon as you have access to the library, it's gross.
It is super duper gross. Oh, there's the wheel. There's the present access in the moat. What in the world? Okay, well, we'll see if... yeah, it looks like Urza's chasing... No, he's not chasing it. He's just warping out of... Nope. Yeah, okay, so he's going up Ilana's tower instead of chasing the present access. Not a bad play, honestly. Although he... Oh, no, he's getting this. I forgot, because he has time stop now. Only gets a metal wristband. So now he's probably going to go up, as Ducky is making the correct play. I think the only play at this point. The correct play into Maw Caves. Taking a whole lot less damage here. I don't know how much experience Ducky got for doing that Ilana fight, but just not even caring about the poison, not caring about anything. Oh, is Urza...
Well, there's not that much that's in the way between where Ducky is currently. Ooh, we know now that Empire is neutral.
Oh,
because we got the Star of Lachiam.
Big information. All right, now Urza's going to the present.
And it is library up front, which is spooky.
Yeah.
Sellen's Bangle, very nice up front as well.
Quite good. So yeah, we have one check that you don't have to fight the boss for, so that's good. Two checks that you do have to fight the boss for, but with that D card and the C card, you've got a lot of checks before we're looking at a required Kobo. The one thing that I think is on Ducky's side here is this could be potentially a lab required seed, in which case Urza is going to have to do Ilana's tower. We do see an Eternal Crown over there on Urza's side in the Merchant Crow stat, so that's a big find.
Sad Windfay Maiden noises as the Wind Orb comes up minus.
Aura Blast is minus. All right.
Oh.
Well, why wouldn't it be? Dark Flames is plus. We found one.
And an A card.
And a B card. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
okay.
That lab is looking
Urza,
super required now.
We have access. Urza didn't even go into the Kobo room.
Urza went in and grabbed the item there, but it was not of consequence.
I look away.
Bombardment minus. We knew it was going to be minus, but it's still sad to see it.
Corruption is minus, so now we know Nether is minus. We did see that from Shadow Seal earlier anyway. The Economizer Ring's a big deal. That Dark Flames Plus is their best damage. A Captain's Cap, they already have an Eternal Crown, so that's not going to be better than that, but it's still very good.
I am very suspicious of going left right now, but I understand the instinct.
Yeah, no fire. Having not burned the vines yet is a little awkward here, but that A card find can make things interesting. We do have a little bit of a false crop on Urza's side. He did pick up the A card, so that is something that he does have in his inventory. Oh, he backtracked.
Oh, it was just to get the teleporter and come back.
Yeah, he just got the teleporter.
A couple of checks on the way. All right.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that. I don't like going left in the present if I can avoid it, but I understand the instinct there, and I think the couple of checks make sense. They're very accessible logic-wise.
Yeah, I agree. It's a couple quick checks. I mean, people are known to dash all the way to the right military hangar and just get those two checks that are just before the military hangar, and that makes just as much sense as getting those on the way to the boots teleport. So These are the two I'm talking about that Urza's picking up right here. The deeper into this we get without seeing another piece of the time spinner does seem to mean that we are looking at perhaps a Laser Gates required seed. Ducky does have all 3 of those laser accesses because one of them was behind Ilana.
And Urza heading up to Ilana right now, which...
Yep, there it is.
Wait.
Opting not to go up the tower.
Pink check. Pink check.
Oh, pink check. Could be doing pink check and then Ilana, or... I mean, the tower, Varney's tower right now is pretty good. There's no elevator key card, but with that C card, you can do a whole heck of a lot with it.
I think Ilana's tower makes a lot of sense here for where Urza's at.
Yeah.
Ducky treading that same ground, doing the water checks now that she has the water mask as well.
Yep, and that will lead her to that wheel in the moat, eventually.
It's always sad getting the quest items in here and being like, well, I guess I have a food synthesizer now.
Yeah. The food synthesizer doesn't even do anything. At least the soul scanner will like let you see the names of the things you're killing, but...
or as I always like to call it, the plasma 4 bag when we find that.
The plasma 4 bag, Roman numerals. So Ducky is going to get the wheel here. We'll see how quickly she turns around and immediately goes to the present. We do know that is the play. The tablet... Oh, gosh. Where was the tablet?
I thought the tablet was in Maw Cave, but I could be mistaken. No, it was in front of Azure Queen.
Oh, that's right. It was in front of Azure Queen. Okay, that's a big deal. Ducky might never go back over there until she has fire. Which, by the way, we are 24 minutes into the seed and we still don't have a fire source.
I mean, we've had seeds in this tournament that are wrapping up around now. So the fact that we still have 2 time spinner gears outstanding, that tells quite a lot.
It does. That Eternal Crown finishes up Ducky's fashion statement with the Eternal Crown and Eternal Coat. Urza fighting Nightmare. This should go... Actually, I'm looking at the damage numbers. It looks like it's taking exactly the same amount of time for Urza as it did for Ducky. So, really nothing lost there either. Urza is...
Taking the damage to the face for the Shadow Seal and then not seeing it return more than 2 on the first hit.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's the rough part.
Yeah, you gotta get down to that 1 hit point, baby. You gotta get used to that 1 hit point life.
Oh, we're getting 2 damage on the finals of the Shattered.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a good start to the real damage.
There you go, 10s. There we go. This is the real damage. We are officially cooking with gas. Getting those dark flames in there. Probably should be just spamming these in between volleys here just to actually get it. I think he may have forgotten that those were plus. All right.
We get it.
So Urza will be getting that laser gate. We will see again how quickly Urza chases that.
And Urza mentioned in the race room that recently in practice, he had the text box for a gear overwritten by the text box of another item in that room after Ilana. So there was a pause there of,
so
please let me see.
Ducky is actually fighting Boots, and it turns out that it's the Golden Idol. Now, this is interesting because neither of our runners have fought the twin spot yet, and you can actually peek what this item is. Just for like a split second. It looks like it's a max aura up, so... Infernal Flames!
And it's plus.
Plus! Oh my goodness gracious. What
that
a
actually
find.
does damage.
Wow, what a find. That's a huge find. If we have a fire-locked... If we have a fire-locked time spinner piece, then that is a big find for Ducky. Again, Urza's gone all the way over Lake Serene. and is unlikely to go over there again unless he's last locationing it. Oh, we see a flooded Lake Desolation. We don't really see that a lot in this tournament, but it is just as likely as anything else. Urza making that climb up the tower now.
So I'm curious your thoughts about this decision on Varney Tower versus heading towards the lab. The lab is definitely dangerous. The enemies have a lot more health. We still don't have a lot of damage.
There's Light Wall!
Light Wall minus does show that that is a very convincing path.
Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Ducky's tagging this Zarian Warp. Setting up for fire checks, it looks like. So this is going to be really cool. Really cool little divergence here that is paid off for both of our runners. The gas mask!
Now that fire seems very relevant.
Yeah, that is 2 more checks that Ducky's going to be able to get. Oh, cool. A library teleport. Thanks. Thanks, Pyramid Key.
Good job, Pyramid Key.
Thank you very much, Pyramid Key, for giving us what we already had.
And the sash!
Goodness.
Oh, okay.
Lake Desolation! Oh, what's Urza doing? Is he also going over there?
No,
Is he taking Kobo? Oh, no, he's just grabbing a save. Yeah, he's going to grab a save because he's going right over to Military Hangar. Wow. Ducky is finding everything. Fire and infinite vertical all in left side of Lake Desolation. What a series of finds. Crimson Vortex Plus. That is some serious damage. A powerful spell.
Unfortunately, the same element as our Dark Flames Plus, so we're not really getting a lot of type advantage there.
No, not at all. We are seeing a Maw fight over here at Azure Queen. We have not seen this on either runner yet. So just spamming those Dark Flames. Ducky does use Auto Fire, so she is kind of taking advantage of the lack of needing to tap buttons to cast spells. And while those spells are going, just holding down the attack button and getting as much damage as she can in between those casts. We did see an Empire Crown. Both of our runners had Eternal Crown already, so Empire Crown over on Urza's side is not overly exciting, but it is objectively the best offensive headgear that you can have. Ducky switching to Infernal Flames Plus, burning these vines, getting that neutral Empire Orb. Oh my goodness.
And
how in the world has the fortune turned this drastically? Like,
you know, that's kind of the thing about this randomizer is it is a little bit unpredictable. You know, you could see somebody come out with what looks like a clear early advantage and it just evaporates because of a routing decision. Storm I minus for all that
Jin
effort.
Inferno.
It is a very soggy meatball, unfortunately, so it's not going to do as much damage as we like.
Urza's making the call to get over here, and that's gonna pay off for him. So he's gonna find everything that Ducky just found. Ducky is going to be going up here, burning some vines. I don't think there's any checks left for Ducky to get, but the vine burning does seem to be a Maw play.
When you find the flames and the gas mask that close together, it does feel like the game is telling.
Yeah, well, Ducky's actually was doing the Maw play. Sorry, was not doing the Maw play. Was just gonna go and checking tablet stuff. This makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Yep, and then Urza gets that Infernal Flames.
And immediately takes off the Dark Flames. Not only because fire is, you know, kind of where we want to go in terms of clearing and progression, but honestly, Dark Flames is an awkward spell to use sometimes. Not that Infernal Flames is much better, but Infernal Flames damage output is really solid.
It is. It does keep you locked in place, which can be kind of a bummer, but with Eternal Coat and Empire Crown or Eternal Crown, like, who cares? You're not going to get one shot, right? So, this is, you know, a pretty good spell, a really good spell. Fire Ring specifically, or Pyro Ring specifically, was one of the things. The Fire Orb, Fire Ring, Infernal Flames, all of those was intentionally buffed a little bit more than some of the other orbs because it was perceived at the time to be a little weaker than a lot of the other orbs. So it is even better than by ratio than a lot of its counterparts in terms of the damage randomization. Ducky just heading right to the right. Okay, here we go. Ducky is going to be able to do everything over here and actually finish the lab with what she has. So pretty big deal. We are going to see probably Urza trailing behind with the fire checks, maybe a Zarian Cave check. So that will be an interesting divergence here, that Urza's kind of all of a sudden following Ducky rather than the vice versa that we had seen for most of this seed.
Yeah, we're going to have to see something from an orphan check that really matters.
Yep.
If this is going to turn around, I think. It is very hard to overcome the performance that either of these runners gets when they have a substantive.
Yeah, like the Celestial Sash is going to make a lot of this stuff so much easier for Ducky than it was for Urza. You saw Urza actually in this very room kind of struggle with the time stop double jump to get up to those bombardiers. As Ducky just was like, oh no, I have this infinite vertical sash that I can wear. As Urza comes in to fight the Maw at Azure Queen, just as Ducky does indeed enter that lab.
Those tricky falling bits from the crushers above will
Yeah.
always knock me down the first time that I'm trying to go up there.
Why is it never a small one when I want it to be a small one? Why is it always got to be one of the wide ones? Okay, well, we do have some orb swapping tech going on with Radiant Minus on the Maw. There we go. And we have a Ciphering in that one. We've got, what do we got over here? Just a max aura up. Nothing spicy in the lab as of right now. Meteor Sparrow Trap powering the lab. Ducky probably wisely skipping Spider Hell for now. They don't really have a great way to kill spiders right now. Like, neither of our runners have anything that really kills spiders very well. So, opting to just skip it, come back when you can warp out.
You can sash or double jump and Empire Orb them. It's fine.
Well, if they didn't resist Empire Orb, I would probably agree.
Fair. We do what we can with what we got.
We have Mind Refresh Ultra behind the experiment. Neither of our runners have Merchant Crow yet, so there is no reason to go into this side room. Ducky's going to be wrapping up the labs except for Spider Hell and except for the Merchant Crow check, the Raven Lord fight, as Urza locates that Celestial Sash and does not head to Zarian Caves. I really thought that might be the case. Oh, he hasn't checked the fire stuff yet. So neither of our runners actually going to fight the Maw either. Hey, look at this. A boss that's weak to our best forms of damage.
So one little call out here is, so far this lab hasn't really given us anything.
No, not at all.
So we're kind of in the question of, is it Dad and his tower, or is it Zarian?
Or, yeah, it's Zarian, or it could be, again, those Maw checks. This plus Umbra Orb. Oh,
that is a very good orb.
That is a very, very good orb. Kickstarter backer exclusive, but unlocked in the rando. Refugee Camp Time Warp Beacon.
All the trolls with these.
Fantastic. Just a fantastic find there. Batty has a good point. Ilana's attic has not been checked.
And actually, I don't think either runner checked the easier of the struggle juggles. I saw Urza check struggle juggle, like the one in the tower itself, but not the lower one in the courtyard.
Oh, is that true? Wow. Interesting. Okay, so we are getting a Zarian Caves play, or at least a skeleton check. I don't know. Oh, nope. He equipped the pendulum. He's going in. Yeah, there you go. Don't skip that. All right, Max Aura up. I've seen somebody skip a required skeleton, and it was very tragic when it happened.
Ooh, yeah. Unfortunate when that happened. Waffle already calling out the possibility of the trolliest final warp beacon.
Where in the pyramid, Waffle? Any specific location in the pyramid that you would like to suggest?
I would like it to be the chest on the way to Regret Chest, so that Regret Chest is free to be one of the gears.
Okay, I can respect that. I can respect that. Can we also have it be flooded?
I mean, wet regret is the best and worst type of regret.
Oh, wow. So Ducky is following Urza into sealed caves. So instead of going to Emperor's Tower, we have, again, Ducky following Urza instead of the other way around. And Lab didn't have anything. The only advantage here is, obviously, in order to get to Emperor's Tower, Urza will have to do the lab. So Urza really wants both those Timespinner pieces to be here. And even if they are, he's only a little bit ahead of Ducky here. And again, still has to do the entire lab, whereas Ducky has the warp right to the Genza fight, which is a very rare in this flag set, but still possible path into the Ancient Pyramid.
It's been funny every time it's happened, and I think that pretty much every time it's come up in practice, that seed has been posted to the Async channel.
You might be right. You might be right, actually.
I'm going to call it confirmation bias because I've seen a few.
I didn't even realize there was a neurotoxin trap right before this check, so even more reason to just windmill slam that exit game. Oh, flooded Zarian Caves. Puke.
The eels are really the selling point of this. They can do decent damage in this area.
And we see
we've got
Urza
the
going
gear
right
to
to
not.
Zarian. Not skipping the boss here. He's going for it.
I understand the instinct. The damage is here. You know, the tools exist.
Yeah.
Now, I don't like this boss in this
I hate
area.
this boss here. Infernal Flames is actually kind of hot here. No pun intended, but it's actually really, really good for our runners. We have a strong weakness, which is great. Obviously, Urza noting that he's going to get his Infernal Flames interrupted. But he does have that Shadow Steel strat with at least a neutral Empire Orb. He really needs to watch out for these missiles.
No, we got Shadow Seal value going on.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true. He is making good progress here. Everything's just a little harder to dodge when you're underwater. That was a nice fight, honestly. That was a really good fight. Is that a nether? Yeah. And Ducky is bailing. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, this is yet again advantage going potentially back to Ducky.
Yep. Ducky is going to quickly check pink. Has not checked pink yet. So...
And I think that the courtyard, the whole courtyard was skipped, I think, in Royal Towers. So that, again, pushes us in the general direction of getting those checks.
Yeah.
Urza's going to have to make up the ground here that Ducky's already covered.
Yeah, Ducky is checking courtyard. Just not wanting to go to Emperor's Tower.
I don't understand why you wouldn't want to go to Emperor's Tower when you have Celestial Sash. Like it's a warp shard on the right. And
41 minutes in, and the other person hasn't finished yet, and you got to be like, something weird's going on. Like, it's 41 minutes. We saw a 17-minute seed this tournament, Sariston. Like, you've got to think something odd is going on here. Nothing odd going on. Oh, and she's just going up to Ilana's attic as Urza's checking. Oh, yeah, this is going to be a rough spider hell here for Urza.
Yeah, even with the type problems that we have of Empire versus Plasma, pluses and minuses really coming into play here.
Yeah. Taking a couple intentional hits on these lasers will get you to maximum Shadow Seal damage pretty quickly. I don't know if he has an appetite for that right now. Again, you can't warp out, so that's one of your safety valves gone. All right, we have an Alana's Attic check. What is it? It's the Merchant Crow? Oh, I love this seed so much. Oh my goodness, I love this seed.
So, all right, thinking about what's still on the table, we've got the entirety of Emperor's Tower. We still have the Ifrit location in the library. We have the Gyre location just outside the military hangar warp. We now additionally have the Ravenlord location in the lab. Yeah.
There's so much we can do.
But there's also those couple of checks that have been orphaned throughout by the runners as they had, various access throughout the course of the seed.
Oh, you know what? Ducky hasn't done the stuff before the twins. Again, she knows that the twins have nothing, so not going to do that actual fight. Just doing some cleanup here. Maybe just making a gamble that there's nothing in Daddy's Tower, although, whew, the deeper we get into this seed, the more it seems like it's inevitable. Yeah, a lot of these abandoned checks that Urza's already checked. Urza did this right after he got Wheel and Moat, so we know that was just a metal wristband. And as Urza makes his way through the lab, that advantage that Ducky has on warps kind of going away as Ducky goes and checks Waterfall now. Still 2 pieces of the Time Spinner down. Gosh, like
one of them's got to be in the pyramid now.
Yeah, like something weird is going on in this seed. Like really, really weird. And I don't blame Ducky for doing these little one-off checks because, oh my gosh, like when else would you do it? If you think there's a gear here, you know you're gonna have to do it eventually. We're getting. What are we getting here?
Above the dog.
No, she did that because I was light wall.
Oh, right.
She didn't get this? Oh, it was Galaxy. Yeah, it's okay. All right. Where are you going now, Ducky?
That's kind of the question she has.
Yeah, I mean, there's one option at this point.
Yeah.
The tower. Or I guess the Maw.
Oh, the Maw checks.
And that's what she's doing. One of our runners did canter, and I don't remember which one it was, but it was nothing.
Yeah, it was completely worthless. I want to say it was something like a max sand or something.
Yeah. We are getting Maw checks here, and Urza is...
Leaving? Why is
leaving, going to Royal Towers to do the courtyard.
The courtyard.
Neither of these runners want to go see their dad.
I don't get it, but at the same time, the seed screamed so loudly to go over to the right in the present.
Yeah.
And then it just didn't pay off in the lab, and I think that maybe there's a bit of disheartenment to that.
Maybe. All right, we have Lake Desolation. Obviously, you don't go fight them all unless you're immediately planning to go check what that gave you. Oh, she hadn't even checked that yet, so just routing that in very nicely. Urza is going to be going up and getting Alana's Attic, which, again, is that Merchant Crow. So there we go. It's more parity between our runners.
Urza, why you do this? You already got the item there.
Did he not do this? Did he not do this?
Oh, maybe
No,
he didn't have sand. That's right.
Yeah, okay, so there you go. Oh my gosh, there's the pyramid access, and it's Inner Ancient Pyramid. So you don't even have to do the pyramid unless, obviously, there's a gear there. There could be a gear there. It's not like...
But that was behind the Maw check at the Firelock? Ooh.
Yeah. Again, we don't know that that's required. Like, if Urza goes to Daddy's Tower and finds both of the remaining pieces of the Time Spinner, he doesn't need to do fire checks. Or Maw checks, my bad. Unfortunately, it does look like Ducky is heading over there. Or just going to the pyramid. Just really does not want to go to Emperor's Tower. Here's a canter and check here. I'm pretty sure. You know what? I don't think.
Maybe
Ducky
they didn't clear it. And they just looked to see what the boss fight was.
Yep.
Well, there's a demon. That doesn't really do anything for us at all.
Nope.
I am still stuck on that Ifrit location because of how early it came up in the logic.
Yeah, I mean, with the way that this randomizer works, we'll see here what is behind the canter and check. The way this randomizer works is it just kind of places all of the items. There's a shiny rock behind canter, and so that's nothing. We're getting a regret chest check, or at least almost regret. We'll see if she keeps going.
I think you just do it. You've got Celestial Sash.
Yeah, it's really not that bad of a check. There are more checks that people go more out of the way for than regret chest. And it has the fire orb, so if you were wondering where our last remaining piece of fire is, it would be the pyro ring you're looking for. We don't know where that is yet. And we're getting a full pyramid clear from Ducky, because you might as well. Waffle Soup had that copied on her clipboard for like 5 minutes now, waiting for someone to do regret chess. Okay, we have... Oh, this is a good fight here for Urza, finding Azure Queen at Ifrit.
Forbidden Tone minus, womp womp. We knew it was minus, but, you know.
Still disappointing.
Yeah. Just let me throw swords, bro.
All right. Quick work on the Azure Queen, and we have a health up and a bee trap.
Doesn't even get the health up, which is very sad, you know.
Just disrespecting the health up. Ducky is going to have to go back and get some warp shards. Yeah. Urza taking a nice hard look at that temporal gyre. And then saying, you know what? What if we did? What if we killed them all? So that will be something that Urza does get. So that is that takes a little bit of the drama out of it. Which is gonna happen first. Genza fight plus 2 gears, or 2 gears plus the warp. This is a good check. We have now entered Daddy's Tower about 10 minutes after we had access to it. There's a gear. Oh my gosh. So this could be it right here. This check right here. Oh no, it's a mind refresh. So there's one gear in Daddy's Tower. Let's see. Ducky, yep, goes ahead and goes up that left side.
Completely logical. I love the play. I would have loved the play whenever it happened, honestly. I love that.
Elevator key card. Let's go!
Oh.
Yes! I never want this seed to end.
Well, at the rate it's going, it ain't gonna.
All right, so we're looking at elevator key card, which is huge. That is several checks. Silence ring and a mind refresh ultra. So we only got a couple more checks here. Urza cussing out loud at finding that pyramid access. And immediately going there. Oh my gosh. The instincts are so similar between these two runners. It is wild.
You know, I think at the level of play that these runners are at, it's very common to share a brain. And that's just how it is.
All right, so we'll see what is behind the actual dad fight as Ducky heads into the Sandman fight. This is going to be very fast. We have a weakness. It would have gone faster if only we were allowed to take out all of Sandman's HP at once. We gotta wait until we get this hourglass phase. Just very disheartening as Urza drops down into regret, which is not gonna be required. There is the final gear behind the Emperor. Ducky probably cannot believe that Urza has not finished yet, but Ducky is in go mode, so here we go.
So who are our bets for our penultimate and ultimate bosses?
We haven't seen Boots yet.
We have not seen Boots. Final Boots would be fantastic.
I
would also like to see Ifrit, just so we have buttless bosses.
Oh, absolutely. Zarian does not have a butt.
I mean, that is fair. Though I don't think anybody particularly likes seeing Zarian as the penultimate
No,
or ultimate boss.
it's a pretty dangerous boss, all things considered. But you do have that one thing that I said earlier about it being a downside that Infernal Flames locks you into place is actually super good in Zarian case, because you can just kind of hover above that fist and above all those worms and just lay on the damage, as you see Ducky doing here. Should be
that is
over
working
pretty
well
shortly.
so far.
Yeah. Does need to watch this a little. Okay, yeah, there you go.
All right.
All right.
Urza's
And
thinking.
moving on, it's well, I guess
Sad.
for some, I mean, I guess for some definitions of final boss, this is a final boss. But again, I don't think this is going to be an issue. Ducky is going to kind of cruise through this fight and take the victory. Just the absolute lunacy that we had both of our runners fading Emperor's Tower when it had both of the missing pieces of the time spinner. I guess in this debate of Bleak Ring versus Shadow Seal, Bleak Ring wins this round. And there it is, exclamation points in chat for Ducky.
Urza is continuing on in the hopes of finishing this out, and probably not that far behind.
Yeah, honestly, not that far behind. Ducky, welcome.
What the heck was that routing?
I kept asking that every time you faded the Dad's Tower location.
Yeah, both of you did that, by the way. Both of you were just like, I don't want to do Dad's Tower. We'll do that later. And you just got there a little bit before Urza did. He's heading into his Dad's Tower fight right now, so he'll be getting this gear in a couple of moments. Good game. Congratulations on your win.
Thanks.
Yeah, this was a heck of a seed, and I don't apologize.
No, it's fine. It was under an hour, so...
Yeah, you did. Yeah, it was under an hour, so you can't complain that much. But I saw that elevator key card, and I saw that merchant crow, and I got so excited that the seed was just never going to end. Oh, Urza needs to watch out here. Is doing some Shadow Seal strats. Oh, didn't believe in himself enough. I think everybody needs to spend a little bit of time on 1 HP mode just to develop that trust in yourself on boss fights. But, Ducky, congratulations. Heck of a race. Like, what a seed. Like, I really... the turnaround really happened when you went full Lake Desolation. Urza went as far as the teleporter before Boots, and then backtracked to go to the right. So that was really the turning point of the match.
Yeah.
Urza did find that Succubus hairpin literally first check after finding the Oculus Ring. So, like, it was the first thing he did, and we were like, well, this is huge, and, like, he's going to be able to find all these things that Ducky's going to have to abandon, and then none of those things had anything.
Yeah. I think I ended up checking most of them anyways.
You did check most of them anyway, but you checked them with the sash, which Urza did not have. So yeah, your routing worked out as Urza rolls into the final boss, and yeah, your routing was really good. Your movement was, as usual, awesome. So really admirable there. Let's go ahead and have just a quick gander.
How long was it before either of us found a plus orb?
You found it first.
It was like 20 minutes in, wasn't it?
Yeah, you found the Empire Orb first as well.
Oh, yeah.
So
I was so happy just to see a neutral. Like, yeah. Oh my god.
It was actually hilarious. There was that Economizer ring, which was available for your Dark Flames Plus, which was nice.
Yeah, I forgot. I also save and quitted out of a Bleak Ring, which I never do.
You were using the Bleak Ring. Okay.
No, it was, I found the Bleak Ring, but I save and quitted out of it because I'm like, oh, I'm probably so behind right now, I can't afford to, because it was in one of the Darien Cave checks, the ones that you usually save scum for.
Yeah. Real quick, let's get some exclamation points in chat for Urza.
Yes.
It was a great race. I'm not kidding. Saracen and I are both sitting in the booth like, we knew what you all had checked already, and we were like, we just someone go to Emperor's Tower, please. And like I said, you went there first.
I had a lot of hopes that Ifrit location was going to bedraggle both of you, but welcome to the booth, Urza.
GG.
Urza,
GG.
Yep, it came down to me fading Dad's tower when I got there to do anything else.
Don't worry, Ducky did that too.
Ducky did that too. She just ended up getting there a little bit before you.
Yep, just a little bit. Yeah, I very much considered, I'm here, I should just do this. But I was like, but I've got all these other things I could do.
Yeah, and when you get that deep and you're missing 2 pieces of the time spinner, like, you've got to start doing weird things, right? Like, because again, I had mentioned earlier, we saw a seed that took 17 minutes in this very tournament.
Right.
Like,
yeah, I was also in that race.
You were also in that race. That is true. I forgot about that.
Oh no.
Like, you get to the 35-minute mark and you start sweating. So 50 minutes comes around, and like, I think, gosh, just the absolute nerves you must have been going through. Ducky, tell me, like, what about minute 45 when you finally found a plus orb? Like, how are you feeling there?
Was it minute 45?
It was at minute 4. It was in the 40s, I want to say.
Jeez, that, like, I was so happy that I found just any plus orb. It happened to be one of the plus orbs that I enjoy because I like orbs that act like blue orb, and Umbra orb is one of those. So,
and you found it well before I did, because I'm pretty sure mine was at 50.
Yeah, it was Ducky's. I was saying to Ducky earlier in the booth, the main thing, Urza, you were ahead because of this first check after Oculus Succubus Hairpin.
Yep, I was so happy with that.
Yeah, you should have been, because it was giving you a lot of an advantage. The issue is when you almost went to left Desolation and you didn't go to left Desolation. Ducky just immediately flew over there, got all of those checks. It was Light Wall and Sash, weirdly enough.
I was like, I got the Light Wall. I'm like, oh, okay, double jump Light Wall, sure, whatever. I can go do some checks. And then I got Sash. I'm like, okay, fuck Light Wall. Sorry.
Oh,
didn't mean to swear.
Oh, that's fine. Disqualified. No, I'm just kidding.
I kept going into my menu after getting the Light Wall. I was like, wait, I'm supposed to equip another spell, right? Never mind. We're not going to bother. I got Sash, and that's why you never equip Light Wall.
Just don't equip Light Wall. You never need it.
Never.
Yeah,
unless it's Light Wall Plus, because then it's actually a good.
That's true.
Yeah.
It was Light Wall minus because, of course, it was.
Yeah,
of course
everything was minus. Oh no, there was a few things. There were so many things where we got pluses. I'm like, okay, but it's like a plus ring. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
so I know it's out there.
Sanguine Ring, like, in the first 3 chests.
Yeah, it was Blood, Fire, and Umbra were the only pluses, and the only regular I saw was Empire.
I think the rest were minus. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, and I save and quitted the fire orb too.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't need it at that point.
Yeah.
Speaking of fire, both of you did awesome with Infernal Flames on that Zarian fight. That was really great tech. Using that downfall of Infernal Flames that it keeps you locked in place to your advantage by just hovering right in front of Zarian's beak and booping the snoot, as it were, with a bunch of fire. So both of you had really great fights. I think, Urza, you did the Zarian spot fight, which was Varney, and I think you had a really great fight there, too. Unfortunately, it was nothing.
It was nothing. I didn't feel like I had a great fight there. There were a lot of Infernal Flames that immediately died to getting hit.
Yeah, I mean, you were also on Shadow Seal strats, so like getting hit isn't even the worst thing. But in terms of an underwater Varney fight, it's one of the more difficult underwater fights because of just how hard it is to dodge. I think you handled it really, really well.
Thank you.
Varney in general is just a pain to fight, even if you know how to manipulate him, and then having to do it underwater is just like, ugh.
Having to do it underwater at a spot that has a big chunk of HP.
Yeah.
At least there was a wheel already in play.
Yes,
True.
that is true.
I will say my prediction in the race time room was almost spot on. My prediction in the race time room was 2 gears and Zarian Caves.
So close.
Emperor's Towers, Zarian Caves, same difference?
They're both leaf nodes on the routing tree, so yeah.
Oh. Nasty.
Well, the good news is you don't have to worry about your vacation.
True. It's not even a vacation. Like, I'm still going to be working, just going to be out of town. So I'm happy for that, and it also means that I can actually do more comms, hopefully, when I get back.
Yeah, and speaking of all of that, Ducky, you do advance in this tournament to face up against Zed, ACZ, in the next round of the second chance bracket. And the winner of that has the pleasure of racing Batty Mass Index.
Oh boy.
So we have a lot of really just heavy hitters left in this tournament. Like I said earlier in the stream, Tonberry James has already been decided as the winner of the winner's bracket.
Yep.
And we're just kind of hammering out who his opponent is going to be. Winfei Maiden already chilling there at the end of the second chance bracket, waiting for whoever she is going to face for the pleasure of going up against James KT in a potential doubleheader. But we've got a lot to go before we get to that point, and you can all stay tuned on Speedgaming and its various affiliate channels for more Timespinner Randomizer. I'm so excited for how this tournament's going to shake out. I've been very excited, on the edge of my seat for basically the entire time.
Oh yeah, this has been a whole lot of fun. I had a blast. Good game again, Ducky. Thanks to everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks to SGL for organizing and collecting donations. Make sure to pay attention to what they've got going on. They've got so many channels. They're running things all the time. It's great.
Yeah, and right now, it does look like there is, on Speedgaming 2, a Super Metroid map rando. And I don't know if you've seen map rando for Super Metroid, but it is kind of nifty if you're into Super Metroid. But yeah, I think that's going to about wrap us up. Saracen, you got anything for us before we send ourselves off?
Wishlist Timespinner 2 on Steam.
I agree. It's free. It costs you $0 to wishlist Timespinner 2 on Steam.
Yeah.
And then, get this, you'll get a notification when it is finished and on sale. It's just like a win-win for everybody involved. So.
Timespinner 2 won't be free when it comes out, but wishlisting it is.
Oh yeah, no, wishlisting it is absolutely free. You will probably have to pay money to play the game, but wishlisting is free. So go wishlist Timespinner 2. Again, congratulations to Ducky. Urza, sorry to see you go. I was saying I don't like when my friends fight. Really great race, super entertaining, very close, just a little over 3 minutes difference. Just absolutely wild race. And there's more wild races to come. So thanks, everybody. Wishlist Timespinner 2. I'll see you either in chat or in the comms booth for the next race. We don't have anything scheduled yet, but keep an eye out on the schedules for us in the future.
I think we might actually Sunday.
Oh, did something get scheduled during this race?
Waffle Soup and Planeswater are scheduled for Sunday at 8 p.m. Central.
What an absolutely brutal matchup. Just
Eastern.
Absolutely brutal. I don't think Waffle Soup has ever raced Planeswater.
They have not faced each other.
Yeah, which is weird because they always find themselves in the later rounds of these tournaments. It's just they've never been matched up against each other, so that's going to be really, really exciting. Two amazing runners going up against each other.
Powerhouses of the community.
Yes, absolute powerhouses. But yeah, I will see you all then this Sunday, and until then, this is Wef Jubster signing off. Saracen, thanks for joining me, and goodbye.